Thank you. Thank you very much for being here. We are extremely happy to be announcing live from Brooklyn, once again, from Barclays Center, David Lemieux versus Gabriel Rosado. We are also extremely happy to be announcing the co-main event, Hugo Centeno Jr. versus James De La Rosa. And the opening bout, which will be live on HBO after dark, will be Thomas Delorme versus Hank Lundy. And it's really satisfying to know that we're coming back once again to the mecca of boxing here in New York, here in Brooklyn, and to give the fight fans real fights that they deserve watching. And what better venue than Barclays Center. We are always happy to be back in a town where boxing is much appreciated. The fight fans know boxing. The fight fans live for boxing here in Brooklyn, so it is very important for Golden Boy Promotions and Barclays Center to keep bringing boxing back to Brooklyn on a regular basis. So this is quite a treat for us. This is quite a treat for Barclays Center because we know that the fight fans are going to get what they deserve, and that's three, or actually close to 10 fights, competitive fights from top to bottom. So we are extremely proud of our relationship with HBO. HBO After Dark will be televising this wonderful event, which brings me to working with everyone. I'm really happy to be working with CES Boxing. I'm extremely happy to be working with Gary Shaw Boxing. So it's an indication from Golden Boy Promotions of where we're headed towards in terms of trying to bring the best fights to the fans, the biggest events. This is one indication that Golden Boy Promotions is willing to work with anybody in order to satisfy the consumer, in order to satisfy the boxing fans. I want to thank Corona Extra. I want to thank AT&T and the Mexican Tourism Board. Live it to believe it. Thank you very much for your great support. We really appreciate it. The tickets went on sale today. Tickets are reasonably priced. We believe that obviously close to December, we decided to price these tickets and give the fans an early Christmas gift, holiday gift. Tickets start at $15, and you can be watching some world-class championship boxing ringside for $150. You can contact barclayscenter.com or ticketmaster.com. Like I said before, we want to make sure, and we did make sure, that we stack the card from top to bottom. We know that the Brooklyn fans understand boxing, they breathe boxing, they know boxing. So we want to make sure that we keep on supporting and the young fighters who will be fighting in the next, who will be headlining in the next couple of years or 3 years from now. We want to make sure that we showcase them and make sure that the fan gets to know them and follows them. We have a young fighter, two young fighters who Brooklyn has gotten to know. One of them who has fought here 4 times. This will be his 4th time. I saw him on the internet at first, showing off his speed and his great combinations and his work ethic, which is probably one of the best work ethics that I've seen, if not one of the best. In boxing, he's a hard worker. He's a great young man outside the ring. He's willing to become a champion. He's willing to take those risks, and he's a perfect example of what Brooklyn boxing is all about. So let me introduce to you a fighter who Golden Boy is really excited about, who is supporting. He is from Brooklyn, New York. He has a record of 8-0. He'll be fighting December 6th here on the undercard. His name is Zachary Zungri Ochoa. Zachary.
Wow, what an introduction. Since I started boxing, I dreamed for an introduction like that. I study this guy, Oscar De La Hoya, all the time, especially for his jab, like he always says. But, I want to thank him for that. Thank him and Golden Boy Promotions, Eric Gomez for giving me the opportunity, Brett, Barclays Center, HBO, everybody that, give me the opportunity to fight on this great stage. I want to thank my family, my team, my trainer, Kelly Richardson, my friend Ariel, Antonio, my manager, Anthony. It's going to be a great fight. This has been the best year for me ever since I signed with Golden Boy, and I'm ready to go. God bless you all. Thank you to the media coming out. Without you guys, we're nothing. God bless.
First things first, I would like to say good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for coming out. As we all know, my last fight on June 6th, it didn't go in my favor. I lost my first fight as a professional fighter. I'm just looking to bounce back, get where I got to go. I'm happy to be fighting again at the Barclays Center. Family, friends, a lot of people come over and support. We never know. My luck might just be right here at home. I'm looking to put on an impressive show, my first comeback fight. I'm happy to be fighting before Thanksgiving and Christmas, New Year's. Actually, before the Christmas and New Year's, I'm actually excited to be, closing out the year with a good victory. I would like to thank my team, Golden Boy Promotions, Eric, Oscar De La Hoya, Gabby, Coach Kelly, my dad, and all I gotta say is good luck to all the guys fighting tonight. Oh yeah, I can't forget about Brett, sorry. Thank you to Brett also for the opportunity of having me here. Teresa for always hooking me up with the tickets. And like I said, good luck to all the guys. Hope training is going well, and I'll see you at December 6th.
At this moment, Team Rosado, I will now introduce to you the main event. At this moment, to call up to the podium, he is the trainer, and a great trainer, if I may add. I've known him for many years. He's trained many world champions, and that is Jesse Reed. Jesse.
It's my pleasure to be here, especially working with Gabe Rosado. I first saw Gabe on television with a lot of his fights, and he reminded me of the old-time fighters like Rocky Graciano. You look at some of these young souls, and you see a tremendous power, tremendous speed, a big heart, and I told my son, I said, man, if someday I could ever get a chance to work with this young man, I would love it, because I've had some great champions in Johnny Tapia, Roger Mayweather, Hector Camacho, Frank Tate. I can go on. It's over 20. But this young man has really brought my heart back into boxing. I'm 72 years old, and he's made me feel like I'm 21. He reminds me of the Freddie Pendletons. He's ready to fight anybody at any time, but he also has tremendous boxing ability. And I don't think he's ever been tapped into that. And I've got the opportunity to work on those things. But the aggressiveness of Gabe Rosado is what makes boxing worthwhile. And I'm just happy to be a part of this team. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Jesse. He's one of the most respected and one of the most popular middleweights in the world. He's a fearless warrior who lives up to his claim of being willing to fight anybody and anywhere. If you recall, he's probably the one who has given Triple G the most difficult fight of his life. If it weren't for those cuts, Rosado, who knows? Maybe he would have won. You never know. I mean, he's that type of warrior who never gives up. So talk about throwback. Talk about fighters who are willing to take risks in order to become great. You know, I wish they would make more of these types of fighters like Rosado. Whenever Rosado fights, the fans know, people know that you will get an exciting fight from him. So let me introduce to you, out of Philadelphia, with a record of 21-8, 13 knockouts, King Gabriel Rosado.
Good morning, everybody. First and foremost, I want to thank God for this great opportunity. You know, God works in mysterious ways, man. It's interesting how this fight came about, because I was supposed to be the co-main event on Bernard Hopkins' card against Kovalev. And I was excited to, you know, fight Kirkland. You know, I'm like, man, this is a fight that's right around the corner from Philadelphia, just a 40-minute drive. You know, it's gonna be great. And then that fight didn't fall through for whatever reason. And I was like, oh man, I kind of went down on that, like, shoot, what am I gonna do? And Golden Boy told me, they said, don't worry about it, Gabe, we're gonna work something out. And they stuck to their word, and they called me and they asked me for the Lemieux fight. Well, no, it didn't work that way first. First it was, I'm on the card of Canelo Alvarez. So I'm like, okay, great, the co-main event. And then Canelo gets hurt. So I'm like, oh damn, there goes another card. I'm like, shit. And then they say, don't worry, Gabe, I think HBO still wants to make the fight happen. So, okay, well, who's the main event? I'm like, we're working on it. The next thing you know, I find out I'm the main event. So it's like, wow, when a door closes, another one opens. And, you know, this is what fighters dream about, you know, headlining on HBO. You know, as a teenager, I had a bunch of posters on my walls, guys like Oscar De La Hoya and Trinidad. And I always believed that I was gonna be a fighter on HBO and Showtime and whatever, you know. I always believed in that. But now's the time to get that monkey off my back. You know, I've been in a lot of tough fights and we're very controversial, but that's boxing. You know, the fans love the drama. The fans, they ride with me and they stick with me all the time. You know, I have the reputation I don't duck fights. You know, when I fought Triple G, a lot of people don't remember that I actually gave up my #1 ranking at 154 to face K9 to say I want to fight Triple G, because I just wanted to do something different. You know, I wanted to fight the guy that everyone was afraid of. You know, I came up short, but that's okay. Now I have an opportunity to showcase my talent on HBO once again. I want to thank HBO, Peter Nelson, Golden Boy once again. I want to thank my trainer, Jesse Reed. Jesse Reed has definitely brought new life into boxing for me. You know, it's funny how I met Jesse. I was actually training at his gym, getting ready for Brian Vera, which was my last fight. And you know, I was really intrigued with Jesse. And you know, I know about Jesse because, you know, even though I'm 28 years old, a lot of the fights that I study are the old fights. You know, Pernell Whitaker and Martin Hagler and those guys. You know, so I knew about Jesse. And you know, one day I I needed Jesse to wrap my hands, and he wrapped my hands up. And then I said, hey, Jess, you mind helping me in the corner? I was getting ready to spar. And Jesse started giving me pointers, and I started paying attention. And it started working. I'm like, oh, shit. And Jess said, you got to do this, Gabe. And I do it. I'm like, oh, damn, okay. And it just clicked. So I said, this is the guy. This is the guy I need. And it's brought new life to me. I felt great in my last fight, even though it was in traditional boxing, but it was boxing. It's 10-ounce gloves, and, you still get hit in the mouth. So it was a fight, and I felt great. I felt rejuvenated. And we're going to bring that momentum into this fight. I respect Lemieux. He's a tough fighter. But, just because I respect him doesn't mean that, I'm going to give him too much respect. I feel that when it comes to the caliber of fighters, I feel like I'm definitely been against the bigger names. And I need to use my experience and my ranks, and my intelligence in this fight. And I'm just excited, man. I'm glad everyone showed up. Glad to me to show up. I'm excited to fight in New York City, the mecca of boxing. It's close to Philadelphia, so I know it's going to be a big fan base here. I'm Puerto Rican. It's a big Puerto Rican population in New York, so I know the Boricuas are going to come out and show love, and all the Latinos and all. So I'm excited. I can't wait to put on the show. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Firstly, I want to thank Peter Nelson and HBO for giving David this opportunity. Ken as well. We spoke for a while about this, and now it's a dream come true. What better place than the Barclays Center? What a beautiful place. New York City, really the only word that comes to my mind, wow, what a fantastic opportunity. We've been working on this for a long time, way before the news about Rosado's fight. We have a lot of respect for Rosado, and he's a guy that's respected in boxing, as everybody here knows. But what we want to do is we want to stamp the boxing world with David Lemieux now. A couple of years ago when we started working, David and I, maybe a little more, 2.5 years ago now, we were sitting in a restaurant and planning out what we're going to do. We had a couple of setbacks. We're sitting near a nice wall of bricks. And there were difficulties as many boxers go through, be it injuries, be it delays, be it shows canceled, be it fights falling through. And he was working extremely hard on a daily basis, 2 workouts a day. And I said, basically, David, what we're going to do is build a wall. Every single day in the gym, it's another brick in that wall. Every piece of effort you give. And one day we're going to end up with the wall of China. And that's the vision we have, and we want to prove that on December 6th. So the best possible opportunity to do this is here. Thank you all very much. The Ormark family doing great things for boxing in New York, the mecca of boxing. We're going to have a lot of buses of Montrealers coming. You're right, Oscar. They're getting ready. They're going to come down for a drive. They're driving down on a bus and driving right back just to support David. He has a huge following. There are many big fights in December out of Montreal. On that night, there's 2 fights. Lucien Boutte, Jean Pascal fighting 2 separate bouts. Donna Stevenson fighting later in the month, and David's fight. And there was a poll that started yesterday as to which fight do you want to see. So this press member put out a poll. So far, 58% of the voters want to see David's fight. The second behind him is at 20%. So hopefully a lot of them will be here with us, and thank you for the opportunity once again, everyone.
It's his first headliner against on HBO against Rosado, and he's proved over and over that he is ready for this this step up. He currently ranks 2nd in the world at 160 pounds by the WBC, and 5th by the IBF, and 8th by the WBO. He is a fighter who's coming off a tremendous fight against Fernando Guerrero, who he knocked out in the 3rd round. Strong puncher, exciting fighter, knows what this opportunity means, December 6th will be a special night for all of Brooklyn. So if you haven't seen David Lemieux fight, you don't want to miss him on December 6th. If you can't see it on HBO, before you think about stuffing the stockings and before you think about buying the presents and for the holidays, and make sure you get those tickets. Like I said, starting at $15, you don't want to miss this show. It's going to be a fun, action-packed show. So to introduce to you, out of Montreal, with a record of 32-2 and 30 knockouts, David Lemieux. David.
Thank you, Oscar. Thank you, everybody, for being here. It's a great honor and great opportunity for me to be able to fight in Brooklyn, New York, at the Barclays Center. I'm very excited. I didn't sleep much last night, just being excited talking in front of y'all. I can't wait for the fight. Gabriel Rosado is a great fighter. He comes to fight. He's a very tough opponent, but already in my camp, I have never felt so strong, so well. If you saw my fight against Fernando Guerrero, it's gonna be again a new David on December 6th. I'm gonna be a beast. It's gonna be dangerous. I can't wait. I'm very excited. I'm training harder than I've ever trained. All my life, I've trained hard. As people don't know my background, but I've always been a very hard worker. I've never cheated on myself. I've always done all the work in the gym, outside. I've had a few setbacks. There was some miscalculations, but we're back on track, and we're here to stay on top of the pyramid. I want to thank HBO, Golden Boy, Oscar De La Hoya, all of you guys. Thank you very much. Everybody that's here, you guys are great. Brooklyn's a great city. A lot of great people in here. When we landed here, I felt the energy. And then when we came in front of the Barclays Center, I said, "Wow, this is big. This is not the Bell Center where we're used to fighting. So this feels like home." And maybe not everybody knows me here, but after December 6th, everybody's gonna know me. And if you're worried about Triple G and stuff, there's a new name that's coming in, Lemieux. Wait till you see my fight, and then we'll speak. So it's going to be exciting, and I'm here to give the best show. And with Rosado, he's a great fighter, so it's gonna be fireworks and dynamite in the building. So it's gonna be great, and I can't wait. December 6th. Thank you all.